Hello my profane friends, let me show you something. If your profane family ain't on this heraldry map of Europe, yeah, then your family just ain't gonna make it. Look at the towns and the cities that are run by these Freemasons, you see? These are the elites running your countries, running your towns, running your cities. These are the parasites that keep the system going in all towns and cities. Look, and they just keep playing the same thing, and they rely on your isolation. Yeah. And when a war breaks out, these families are the ones that are arguing and fighting amongst themselves. But anyway, let's go down here. Look, we'll start it from up here. In fact, these are the arms of all the countries of the world. Yeah. So these are the major coats of arms of the world. Yeah. So these are what runs the countries, right? Every country has a coat of arms at the top, and at the top that'll be an emperor, a king, a queen, whatever. And they run the countries. They then designate their families to run the cities or the towns. There'll be clans, whether it's clans, tribes, all different people that have fought for thousands of years, that live in peace, but they keep the peace amongst themselves because their families all the time are the ones that keep tricking the profane to work for them. You see? And they're all over. Like I said, it's all to do with heraldry. Yeah. No matter where you come from. Yeah. These top families in Europe, look. See? These are the top families. Yeah. All right. The bigger gang. This is Asia. This is the gangs that run it in Asia. Yeah. Okay. The bigger the gang, the easier it is to control, isn't it? You see? Again, look at the world. Look, you see, controlled by heraldry. They designate what you do, who rises and who falls within their clans. This is just Ireland, for instance. Yeah, look. Yeah. Look at the families. If you don't belong to any of these families, yeah, then you ain't making it, my profane friends, because these people will give a sign or a token or a step that will isolate you away from them. See, this is Finland. Look at the families. Look, you see, Austria. Look at the families. Germany. Look at the families. See. And if you know anything about my Masonic increasing armies and the lodges within every town and city and across the world, you can understand why the heraldry, the badges and the gangs or tribes, whatever you want to call them, run successfully everything across the world and keep the chaos going amongst us. Look at the Polish. Look. No matter what country you come from, these families are the ones that control your shops, take control of all your clubs, scouts, cubs, girl guides, boxing, wrestling, doesn't matter what it is, these people are in charge. Yeah. Look, see that? Look. And all of these are the families. Look. See? Look at the heraldry. Look. You see the square and calm pistol in there? So all the Masonic Freemasons that control everything. Oh, they're my profane friends. Look, see? They run every town, every city, just working together. Any threat, they kill or assassinate, and they get away with it because it's all about isolation. And like I said, they'll bring someone from like Africa into the UK to kill someone who's, just run someone over and go, oh, it was an accident. Do you know what I mean? And they do the same face, vice versa, But look at Africa, the families there. See, it's just royals and elites. Do you know what I mean? And you better, you know, and when they call to banners, this is when they go to war. World War One, World War Two. You know what I mean? So you look at all them families, look, in Africa. That's why you've got cowboys and Indians. Look, that's the world one again. Look, you see? All the families across the world, all heraldy. Here's England, look. England and Wales. Look at that. See it, look? All these different families. See? And they trick you into thinking. How many times can you see the Masonic symbolism in there? Look, 3 of this, 3 of that, the square, the compass, look. It's all in there, look, in plain right. But even though I'm showing you this, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Because their army is vast. See what I mean? Look, that's Europe. Look at the families, yeah? That's what you're up against. These are the ones that control your shops, your pubs, your clubs, the doorman, the fucking everything that's run in your town or city is run by these elite families. And it's through Masonic lodges. And like I said, if your family doesn't appear in any of these heraldies or anything, you simply ain't going to make it. And do you know why? Because you'll be the ones fighting amongst yourselves. These people are digging tunnels. They've got all the food sources in tunnels, you know, storage facilities with loads and loads of water, food, everything to survive in a battle like they have done for the thousands and thousands of years previously. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. Oh, sorry. Look at this. This is the families you're up against in every town and city, and they work against each other. They pretend there's wars. They pretend there's, you know, everything's just a game to them. You know what I mean? And so long as they keep the confusion and the chaos going, it looks like they're doing the job. But they hide it all behind Masonic aprons. Like I said, they control you by using their, you know, suits and uniforms. But it's all the same. The sovereigns of Europe, you see, and then below them you've got the other families, you see what I mean, who they call to, and obviously they're paid by having businesses and all the rest of it, you know what I mean. They just have easy lives, you know what I mean. Eastern and Central Europe, look, there's the main families, then under to them will be other families, you see, like this. Look at the families, see. And they run the towns and the cities all around. Look at the triple 12 crosses. Look at the square and compass. Look at the Masonic floorings. It's all there in their heraldry, look. Yeah. And they look after each other. How much of an army can you raise? Even if, like, let's just say 3 cities got together, all of the rest of these families would attack you because you're profane. You see what I mean? So when you say, oh, we're marching on London or wherever else you seem to want, and you think you've got the numbers, you haven't, because all these people are marching in amongst you, ready to assassinate you with their Masonic knives and daggers. You know what I mean? Look, here's the heraldry of Europe. Look, you see? Oh, sorry. See? There's the families. Look, you see? Oh yeah, Ireland, Great Britain, look, you see, and when it goes to war, they go, right, call the banners, who's coming to help us, who owe us allegiance, who owe us what, or we'll give you these lands, and we'll give you this gold entitlement, we'll give you this oil entitlement, you see what I mean? All these families, look, and you think you're going to eradicate them? Just by marching down to London. They laugh. They must laugh. They laugh their heads off for you lot, I tell you. Because these people know. These are the top echelons. These aren't the 33-degree Freemasons. These are the 300. These are the 666-degree Freemasons. These ones. You know what I mean? And they meet maybe once every 3 or 4 years. Do you know what I mean? Look. You think you're going to make a difference marching on the street or some particular town where it's in isolation and they work together. Look at all of that. All of them answer up to them. Do you you see what I mean? Oh yeah, my profane friends, you've got no chance. Like we say, know thy enemy, because you lot just don't know how vast your enemy is against you. You know, and you need to start waking up to what these people are. They're just wearing Masonic aprons, they're using uniforms and suits and everything else to get what they want, and they control the front lines of everything that happens within your country, or within your towns and within your cities. And like I said, your towns and your cities are your worlds, you know, and they control it all. Italy, no matter where it is, Spain, France, Germany, you know, all of it. I don't know where they don't, you know, any family where there's royals, it doesn't matter, they're there. And if your family does not appear on there, you're the one that's going to be in the trenches. You're the one that's not going to get any food. You ain't going to know where the food is because they've stashed it all anyway. And it's all hidden from you because they know hungry people kill each other for their food. So I mean, you own no lands at all. You own nothing. These people own the land. They own the sea. They own the air and everything else in it. Anyway, don't take my word for it. Like I said, do your research, by profane friends, and you'll find all these people with all this heraldry, the lords, the dukes and the earls, and that each state or county, yeah, is run by a king and a queen, yeah. And then as you go down, their family members then run the towns and the cities, and then the cities and then the towns answer up to the cities, you see, and then the cities answer up to the state or the county. But in each case, there's always the king and the queen. Do you know what I mean? Or the emperor, whatever they want to go by. But it's all the same. It's all to do a heraldry. And what they do, they gang stalk and harass the profane that are without their temples. Yeah, because you're in isolation. These people in with a sign or a hand sign that have been handed down centuries and decades, they can go against any profane person because you don't know who you're standing with, because they hide their Masonic aprons. You see what I mean? It's all done by manipulation. Anyway, have a great day. I could go more on this, but it's just a short video just to show you the vast army you're up against in all towns and cities. So you marching on London, or you marching in, you know what I mean? You can tell the difference between, right, between someone who's trying to do something and those that are pretending to do something. Yeah, for instance, like Tommy Robson, he's more than likely getting all the help from all these families, right? Yeah, where someone who's really profane, and I could show you the scale of that with the extremities, yeah, where people are getting, like, you know, the back of a lorry with big speakers and all the rest of it, and talking into the, you know, the mic and all that, and having thousands of people listening to them, right, which would be half of these families. And then everyone go, oh, because they're all sheep and follow the crowd. They go, oh, we'll go listen, do you know what I mean, and march on this, yeah. But it's all organised by these people within each town and city of how big or how vast or how popular someone is, yeah. And if there's someone, again, like on the other extreme, you'll see them, they're shouting and screaming, you know, trying to do their best to wake people up, and you'll just see 6 or 7 people on the street, do you know what I mean, talking, and people are just walking past, ignoring it and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? But they're the people, they're the ones you want, the ones who are being suppressed. Do you know what I mean? The people who are being suppressed, you want to follow them. You know what I mean? Because they're the ones that are speaking the truth. And these people will never, ever acknowledge them. Do you know what I mean? Or give them the help, the speakers, to talk off the back of a lorry or any sort of organisation. Do you see what I mean? Because they don't want that. And this is what you're up against. You know what I mean? This is why you can't run businesses or anything else, because they control it all and they control everything. You just have no idea, you profane people. And this is why they keep you isolated as well, why people can't talk French, you can't talk German, they don't want that, you know what I mean? People, they don't want people communicating. People who communicate and get on is dangerous to these people. Do you know what I mean? The less people that know that they actually exist, the better it is for them, you know. There you go, my profane friends. Do the research of your town and city and know exactly who runs your town and who runs your city. And once you learn that, yeah, you'll see their lords, dukes, earls, barons, whatever you want to call them, yeah, and it goes back for centuries. And then they have a criminal element, yeah, that are tribes and whatever, and they do the dirty work for them to suppress the people that are a threat to them and their power. Have a great day, my sugar puffs.